Namaste, hello and welcome back to another video on Hamsavahini Vajraasthra. I'm Awhona. Today I'm going to share my first book haul for January 2022. So if you are someone who really loves reading a story along with a spiritual moral within it, do please join me further in this video. So now let's get down to the books that I have in front of me. So the first book is called Music of the Coasts by Vaddey Ratner. And this is not a recent publication. I think it was published around 2017 or 2018. But I found it quite interesting. And from the back of the book, it reads as, years after fleeing Cambodia as a child refugee, Tira returns to her homeland, carrying a letter from an old musician who may be able to shed on her father's disappearance. Life in America has not prepared her for the shock of immersion back into a society still at war with itself. Yet face to face with an old musician, a stranger scarred by the Khmer Rouge Revolution, she recognizes a reflection of her own longing, the desire to mend and heal. Lyrical and illuminating, Music of the Coasts is a journey through the embattled geography of the heart and its hidden chamber where love can be reborn. So that's the first book that I have, and I'm quite intrigued by it, and I hope that I will be able to get around to it soon. So that's the first book. Now, the second book which I have is a series, and let me just hold this up for you. So this is a series by David Michie, and David Michie is a Canadian author who is also a Buddhist spiritualist, and he is famous for his Dalai Lama Cat series, which is exactly what I'm going to share with you. Of course, these have not been recently published. They have been published long ago, but I just got my hands on the series and I am absolutely thrilled, and I'm trying to get some of my books off my TBR, of course, after reading, so that I can get my hands on them as quickly as possible. So the first book that I have from this is, or from by this author, is called The Bedtime Buddha, Beyond the Ordinary, which is a non-fiction book. And from the back it reads as, whatever dreams he was having, Jason knew they had nothing to do with his physical body. His eyes were firmly shut and his consciousness withdrawn from his senses when all this was going on. Yet in his dreams, he experienced sights, sounds, and even visceral sensations much more intensely than when he was awake. From this, he understood that you didn't need a physical body to see or smell or endure any kind of experience with an acuteness that was more real than reality. From an early age, he deduced that heaven or hell need not be material places so much as states of mind, and no less glorious or horrifying because of that. In this collection of endearing short stories, David Michie invites us to draw the veil of of everyday reality aside. I'll read that out again. In this collection of endearing short stories, David Michie invites us to draw the veil of everyday reality aside and enter into a world beyond our wildest imaginings. The book features a delightful cast of characters that includes a cat-dotting woman who wishes her beloved felines would talk to her, Four female book club members who are unexpectedly propelled by the same black and white photograph, and a young seeker who realizes that there are no limits to a mind untethered from form. Zestful and profoundly moving at the same time, the Bedtime Buddha, Beyond the Ordinary, will reawaken the wonder in you and inspire you to see the world through fresh eyes. So that's the first book that I have by this author. And now the next few books are fiction books which have spiritual moral lessons, and this is the Dalai Lama Cat series which I was talking about earlier. So the first book is of course called the Dalai Lama's Cat, which is the first in the series, and from the back of the book it reads as, how would the Dalai Lama react when presented with the gift of a dead mouse? A malnourished slum kitten is carried back to the beautiful sanctuary by the Dalai Lama himself. Her arresting blue eyes are slowly shown everything in the Buddhist leader's life. Timeless wisdom that comes only in the quietest moment between animal and man. You'll follow His Holiness Cat as she runs up against Hollywood stars, teaches lessons at the feet of the Buddhist masters, and learns how a bodhisattva deals with life in the 21st century. And soon see why a cat has the best vantage point on fragility and beauty in all humans. The Dalai Lama's Cat is funny and light, but contains spiritual lessons that will ignite your curiosity and reflection. So this is the first in the series. Now, I'm not too sure if I have every book which is present in the series. I think I'm still missing 2 or 3 from my current stack, which I hope to add along, but I still have approximately 3 more to go. So the next book is called The Dalai Lama's Cat and the Art of Purring. I found the title very interesting. So from the back of the book, it reads as, what makes you purr? Of all the questions in the world, this is the most important. It is also the great leveler because no matter whether you are a playful kitten or a sedentary senior, a scrawny alley tom or a sleek-coated uptown girl, whatever your circumstances, you just want to be happy. Not the kind of happy that comes and goes like a can of flaked tuna, but an enduring happiness, the deep down happiness that makes you purr from the heart. Before leaving for a teaching tour to America, the Dalai Lama poses a challenge to his beloved feline, His Holiness's cat, to discover the true cause of happiness. Little does she know what adventures this task will bring. A hair-raising chase through the streets of McLeodganj leads to an unexpected revelation about the perils of self-obsession. An encounter with the mystical yogi Tarchen inspires a breakthrough discovery about her past, one with dramatic implication for us all. And overheard conversations between Ivy League psychologists, high-ranking lamas, and famous writers who congregate at the Himalayan Book Cafe help her explore the convergence between science and Buddhism on the vital aspect of happiness. Sparkling with wisdom, warmth, and a touch of mischief, the Dalai Lama's Cat and the Art of Purring is a charming reminder why His Holiness's Cat is becoming one of the most loved cats around the world. So what is the true cause of purring? The Dalai Lama whispers the secret on his return, only for the ears of His Holiness's Cat and those with whom she has a karmic connection. That, dear reader, means you. So that's the second in the series. Now, I don't have the third and the fourth one, but the fifth, I believe, in the series is called, or I believe the fourth one in the series. I don't have the third one and the fifth one, but I do have the fourth one, which is called The 4 Paws of Spiritual Success, and the title is equally cute. So from the back of the book, it reads as, the Dalai Lama's Cat is back, irreverent, vain, and as delightfully insightful as ever. If you're wondering how being in the presence of an enlightened person may be communicated on the pages of a book written by a flawed and complex, if extremely beautiful cat, let me confess that my only job here is to offer you a mirror, a looking glass of a particular kind, one that reflects back not the contours of your nose or the arch of your eyebrow, but which provides a much deeper reflection of who and what you are. Look closely, dear reader. There's no need to be afraid for what you will discover if you ever doubted it, that your own true nature is quite different from whatever flecks and imperfections that may temporarily obscure it, At heart, you're a being whose pristine nature is nothing other than pure, great love and pure, great compassion, just as I am. When the Dalai Lama's inner circle is set the task of providing His Holiness with a book that can give his visitors an unexpected volunteer stretches at her paws. The book summarizes the four key elements of Tibetan Buddhism and, more importantly, communicates how it feels to be in the profoundly reassuring presence of His Holiness. And who better to do this than his much beloved feline? Through encounters with celebrity visitors and her own intriguing adventures, the Dalai Lama's Cat explains the four key themes not so much as ideas but as practices to be embodied. Along the way, she even gets a new title, Therapy Cat. If you ever sought a summary of Tibetan Buddhism, wisdom albeit from an unusual and whiskery source, the Dalai Lama's Cat and the Four Paws of Spiritual Success is just the big book to get you purring. So that's the fourth in the series. So the next book is a spiritual thriller written by David Michie, which is called The Magician of Lhasa. And it's all about a novice monk, a quantum scientist, and an ancient secret. So from the back of the book, it reads as, when a novice monk, Tenzin Dorji, is told by his Lama that the Red Army is invading Tibet, his country's darkest moment paradoxically gives him a sense of purpose like no other. He accepts a mission to carry two ancient secret texts across the Himalayas to safety. Half a century later, in a paradox of similarly troubling circumstances, Matt Lester is called upon to convey his own particular wisdom as a scientist when Matt's nanotechnology project is mysteriously moved from London to a research incubator in Los Angeles. Tenzin and Matt embark on parallel adventures which have spine-chilling connections. Tenzin's perilous journey through the Himalayas amid increasingly physical hardship and the ever-present horror of the Red Army capture is mirrored by Matt's contemporary but no less traumatic challenges as his passionate relationship with his fiancée Isabella and his high-flying career undergo escalating crisis. It is at the moment when both Tenzin and Matt face catastrophe that their stories converge, spectacularly transforming our understanding of all that has gone before. So this is a spiritual thriller, and I was quite intrigued by it, and the storyline seems very good. So I hope I'll be able to get to this book very soon. So that's one of the spiritual thrillers that I have. There is another book which I have also managed to get my hands on, which is called The Queen's Corgi on Purpose. And the cover is very cute, and so is the title. Now, from the back of the book, it reads as, wouldn't it be wonderful if the newspapers did more to share stories and insights that were really meaningful, things that might help people lead more purposeful lives? The Queen glanced over at him uncertainly. Tricky business, persuading the media to lift their sights from terror and trivia. Every one of us has tried. Pushing myself up so that I was balancing on my rear end, I fixed Kate with a pleading expression. She was a soft touch when it came to scones. There was a pause while the family glanced in my direction before Kate said, well, not every family member. Rescued from the unscrupulous breeders who planned to destroy him because of his floppy ear, when the Queen's littlest Corgi arrives at Windsor Castle, he finds himself in a world of red carpets, gilded chambers, and not a pile of dirty laundry to be seen. Charming his way into the affections of the royal household, Nelson offers a dog's eye view of life with the Queen. He eavesdrops on encounters with the celebrities, philanthropists, and advisors, catching rare insights into the secrets of a purposeful life. Through one of Her Majesty's most secret and mysterious advices, he discovers how the ancient ways and powerful symbols continue to exert a transformative presence. He also becomes familiar with the Queen's most surprising quality, her gentle but firm expectation that everyone she encounters is striving to be the best that they can be. The Queen's Corgi bursts with the zest, humor, and adventure, romping through the litany of Nelson's misendeavors are a warm-heartedness and deep wisdom sure to delight anyone who has known the smiling face and warm tongue of a dog. It is not by chance that you hold this book in your hands. So I believe this is also a dedication to David Michie's own little Corgi pet, because he did have a little dog who looked exactly like this. So probably it is fiction mixed with some of his memories and some of his experiences, but I am very keen to find out about it. So these are the few books that I have got my hands on this January. So I will be wrapping up this video as of here, and I'll meet you soon again next week with a few updates of how and where my reading is till date. So do please join me next week once again this time, and till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.